Jane Adventures Whatever Happened to Sarah Jane, the fourth story of Series 1, is written by Gareth Roberts and it's starring Elizabeth Sladen, Yasmin Page, Tommy Knight, Daniel Anthony and Alexander Armstrong. So yeah, it's the introduction of a recurring villain called the Trickster and his minions, who appear in Doctor Who as Time Beetle in Turn Left, and Torchwood as Brainspawn in Immortal Sins. At skate park, apparently Luke and Clyde are bad at skateboarding, but Alan, Maria's dad, is so good in it. And I love the scenes where they were taking pictures of each other. It's a nice moment. When Maria takes a picture of Sarah Jane, there's a trickster lurking around. So in the attic, Sarah Jane gave Maria a puzzle box that was given by Varen Soothsayer, who she later mentioned that he gave her a warp star in Doctor Who Journey's End. He tells Sarah Jane to remember and also told her to give it to someone she trusts the most. She didn't give it to Luke, Clyde or even the Doctor, she gave it to Maria. So then when she went home, she took time to figure out how to open it, and then the trickster was outside of Sarah Jane's house. He uses his hand and the light came off. The next day, after Maria had her breakfast, Alan mentions someone called Andrea, so Maria thinks he was joking, so he visits to 13 Bannerman Road at Sarah Jane's house, but it turns out there's a strange woman who answered the door called Andrea Yates, played by Jane Asher. For some reason, Luke and Sarah Jane aren't there. Andrea lives in that house instead, which we obviously find out how. Even Maria looks around the house and there's furniture and decorations were different. Even the attic is as well. So apparently Alan doesn't even know who Sarah Jane is. He thinks she's unwell or something. Clyde barely knew Maria. He doesn't know who Sarah Jane or Luke is and thinking Maria is insane. Apparently that puzzle box protected Maria, which is why she's the only one who remembers Sarah Jane. So Maria takes her dad to the library to search up and what happened in the news in 13th of July 1964. On a school trip, Sarah Jane Smith died falling at the edge of West Post Pier. And we can see the names, Andrea Yates and Sarah Jane Smith, swapping. So Maria lied to her dad to tell him that she got it wrong, so then she went to see Andrea, asked about that day, and as a result, she threw Maria out. We find out that Andrea has a puzzle box that Maria has as well, given by the trickster. The day where she almost died and swapped places with Sarah Jane, what happened in the real timeline, it was Andrea Yates who fell from the edge of the West Post Pier, and Sarah Jane couldn't save her. Grask appeared and removed Maria from the existence, but Alan used the box to protect himself, so he's the only one who remembers Maria. And yeah, Chrissy thinks there's something wrong with him when she thinks that Alan claims that him and her had a daughter called Maria. Maria arrived in 1969 and she meets 13-year-old Sarah Jane and Andrea.
I was in London. I'm Maria Jackson.
Pleased to meet you, Maria. I'm Sarah Jane Smith.
I think Jay Asher's acting in this is brilliant when she gets angry and cries. I also think Jessica Ashworth and Francesca Miller as young Sarah Jane and Andrea were great as well. The trickster played by Paul Mark Davis is so terrifying, that is well done. In the second part, Maria tries to warn Sarah Jane, but Andrea thinks Maria is insane and Sarah Jane is being so nice to her, and Andrea drags Sarah Jane away. Grass came back and took Maria in a white foggy area called a limbo, and she reunites with the adult Sarah Jane. When she talks to the trickster, in an alternative where Sarah Jane isn't there, the Bane hasn't arrived on Earth, which is why Luke doesn't exist. He's also planning to remove the Doctor from the existence, and think how the universe will be without him.
In particular, the memories of this Doctor.
You leave him alone.
So Chrissy got frustrated for Alan making it up that they had a daughter, so then they went to Andrea's birthday party, and even Clyde was there, no idea how he met her. So Alan follows Andrea into the kitchen and questions her about Maria. So in the attic, Andrea explains the truth to Alan about the trickster, saving her and let Sarah Jane die and gave her the box. There is the news about meteorite hitting the Earth, so Alan gets chased by a Grask, but then he tied him up and got Maria back with the snare gun. So back in the attic, Andrea speaks to Sarah Jane through the mirror. It's really a sad scene, the fact she has to die to set everything right.
And you're free!
But it's great to have Sarah Jane and Luke back, so she gets Mr. Smith to send meteorite elsewhere. And in the end, Alan finds out the truth about aliens, how his daughter got involved and Mr. Smith and that. Feel free to let me know what you guys think of this episode, part 1 and 2. And next we'll have the final two-parter story in Series 1, The Lost Boy. I shall see you then.